Number 7, strategic strokes and affection. Now, this means remind the child how well they handled a similar situation in the past. Link a recent success to the current conflict by giving an example of that. So let's look at it this way. If someone who matters to you, say your boss, comes up to you and says, you've been doing a good job, but you will know he's going to tell you something which is not very exciting or maybe something bad. But if he comes up to you and says, you've been doing a good job, and then you'll start listening louder. And the whole idea behind positive strokes and catching them being good is to get the kid to listen louder. So if you say, Rishi, you really did a good job with your maths practice this morning, and now let's talk about your sister. So what you're doing is taking something that the kid is doing or has worked well on and expanding it to another area, and what you're doing is lending him some self-confidence from here. He will be less defensive. If the conversation starts out with something that he has done well, so it's going to really help him to get some confidence. Remember, no buts, only ands. Strategic stroking and affection is good all the time. You want to use all of it. It's good and motivating to give a child positive strokes and feedback, but remember, it has to be genuine. Something like, wow, good job with finishing your meal on time. Or great the way you put yourself together when we have to go out. Or something like, I overheard you speaking on the phone and was really impressed with the way you handled your friend. This way, when you open your mouth, the kid does not know what is coming out. This is something that teachers too can do. It's important to catch the kid being good and doing something well and acknowledging it. Otherwise, 70% of the communication a parent has or an adult has with a child is negative, where the child is told where he is wrong and how he can be doing better. So it's important, very important to tell them you're proud of them based on whatever is making you proud, and to tell them how well they handle situations when they do so. Just remember to be genuine and authentic. It should not be like you're making a sales pitch because you want to get them to do something for you in return. Technique number 8, self-disclosure to the child. It's important to let the child know that you are experiencing a certain emotion. Such as, it's impossible to talk to you when you're being rude to me. Or something like, it's very frustrating to try and help you solve this problem when you're blaming me. These statements can be very helpful for a kid, as you're letting him know the way you're feeling and also helping him to understand that it's okay to share about one's feelings. Firstly, it's okay to experience them, and it's important and okay to disclose them. So self-disclosure to the child is not something like, I hate you. It's not something like, it's basically about reflecting back to the child how his behavior is affecting you and affecting your problem-solving skills. When you verbalize and table your feelings, instead of venting them, it stops your emotions from building up. So it's very important for you as well and for the situation. So self-disclosure to the child also clarifies whose problem it is. It's very important to disclose to the child when you are helping them and they do not collaborate that it's their problem, not yours. Often the child does not know that. And when you run after them to study, the child thinks it's the parent's problem, not his problem. over the years, these kids have learned that when the kid has a problem, the parent takes responsibility for those problems. You forget to finish your homework today and you want the parent to write a note to the teacher making an excuse about why the homework is not done. No, you forgot your homework. What are you going to do differently to remember to do it the next time? And let them face the music, for God's sake. Let them go face the teacher. The more you protect the child from consequences, the more the child feels it's not their problem, and they grow up with a sense of entitlement that the world owes them a living. So, I'm not saying you should not help the child if he forgets once in a while, and if he's a polite, well brought up child who's normally very responsible. But if you have a kid who tests limits and blames and shifts responsibilities most of the time, and if he frustrates your efforts to help him, then self-disclose to him how frustrating it is for you and how the problem is his and not yours. Self-disclosure also helps the child to learn to respect others' feelings, and also it helps the child to learn to table and handle his own feelings in a healthy way, as opposed to shouting and getting angry. We will give you the remaining techniques in our next video. You can share your views and your experience of using these techniques in the comment section below.